Here's a quick reminder of your top stories this evening. The SAPS is scrambling to defend the integrity of its training colleges after eNCA details allegations of bribery from hopeful students. Traffic is slowly starting to flow on the N3 as the debris from this morning's multiple vehicle crash is being cleared. And in sport, Marumo Gallants will be out to spoil Mamelodi Sundowns' treble party in the Nedbank Cup.
Number 2 game, space for Tato Kiba. His ball across, it's deflected.
Around 820 million people across the world don't have enough food to eat. During the harshest time of the COVID-19 lockdown, access to food in many countries was aggravated, and South Africa was no exception. Malnutrition has been a big problem for a very long time, with many children dying of starvation and families having to survive on the bare minimum. So what can be done to solve a problem which has lasted decades? To speak to us more on this issue, I'm joined by the CEO of Rise Against Hunger, Nell. Brian, it is of course World Hunger Day, so it's important that we highlight these issues. Last year's riots, the pandemic and resultant job losses, the recent floods in KZN, the war in Ukraine, which has driven fuel and food prices sky high. These have all had a negative impact on efforts to alleviate hunger in South Africa. What does the picture currently look like in terms of previous years?
Yes, hi, thanks, Annie. As all the situations that you mentioned has certainly put the hunger crisis on an upward trajectory, and there's just ongoing challenges which we face, and specifically here in South Africa. So as you mentioned, the floods and the unrest, and of course COVID, which started the whole northern Cape, northwest. But yeah, I think the whole country in general is facing a crisis.
Predictions are, predictions are that staple food prices could increase by as much as 20% in coming months, as fuel prices are also set to increase. How's that going to exacerbate hunger in South Africa even further?
I think it's certainly going to have a huge impact. We just seeing from our side, Rise Against Hunger focuses a lot on children, feeding children between ages of 1 and 6 at early childhood development centres. And we've been noticing that more and more kids are either not coming to their creches because the parents can't afford school fees, which is a direct indication of the financial issues at home. And the problem is just really growing, because it's not just the food prices, but it's also the increased unemployment and the tough economic times. I mean, it's all compounding just to, make matters worse for those. And so many people who are sort of living on the edge of poverty as such have really been pushed over the edge because of the circumstances that we're seeing at the moment.
Now more than ever, it's critical that we escalate programs to reach those who go to bed hungry at night. And Rise Against Hunger is busy with a number of feeding programs. You told us about ECD centres. Tell us about some more of the programs that you're involved in.
Yeah, so we obviously been responding to a lot of the disaster relief. So whether those have been affected by COVID, the unrest, and more recently the floods. And we also we're engaging in a great partnership with the KFC Ad Hope initiative, which allows us to expand into more provinces and primarily focusing on children at ECD level, because that's our key focus. Those developmental years of a child's life are really, really critical. But yeah, we're hoping to continue expanding and work with other organizations to tackle the crisis. We also do a lot of food relief amongst university students and various feeding schemes in all 9 provinces of the country at the moment.
What's your message to the broader public watching this World Hunger Day?
Well, I think what's great about World Hunger Day and also World Food Day later on in the year in October is just to keep the awareness. We have a huge food crisis in South Africa, and we need to be very aware of it and keep it forefront. And I think also I think a message to everybody was that, is that everybody can make a difference somehow. If we all just work together, and whether you're volunteering a bit of time, getting involved with any organization just to help reach those most vulnerable, or contribute in some way. So, as I was saying, we're working quite a lot with the KFC At Hope Foundation, and their sort of motto is, small change can make a big change. And so everybody can make a little bit of a difference, give a little bit, either some financially or of their time. And of course, also be very aware of food waste. There's so much food is wasted in around the world and also in South Africa. And just to be very conscious of the situation and see what we can do to try and get on top of the hunger issues.
A small change can make a big difference. Thank you very much for that important message. That was CEO of Rise Against Hunger, Brian Nell.